Welcome back, my dear students. In this presentation, let's go for the fourth part in molecular basis of inheritance. First, I would like to explain about the experimental proof for semi-conservative nature of DNA replication. This was shown by Matthew Meselson and Franklin Stahl in E. coli cells, and it is popularly known as Meselson and Stahl experiment. So what they did during the experiment is they grew the E. coli cells. As you are aware of this cells, that this is a common cell which is used by all the scientists, Escherichia coli. Right. So these E. coli cells were grown in two different medium. The first one is said to be the N15. That we can call it as the heavy DNA. H means heavy. Okay. And another is the N14. N14 means it is a normal one. Okay. First they grew the E. coli cell in the N15 medium. So this is nothing else but the heavy nitrogen, but not the radioactive one. Okay. So this heavy nitrogen gets incorporated into the newly synthesized DNA. Okay. So as a result, this will, when it is first grown in the E. coli containing N15 medium, first it gets incorporated into the newly synthesized DNA. So this is a newly synthesized DNA what I am showing you. Then this heavy can be distinguished by the cesium chloride density gradient centrifugation. In the centrifugation, it shows like this. That means as it is heavy, it settles at the bottom. Okay. Next, this heavy DNA is transferred into the medium containing the normal one. That is, normal means N14. Right. So now it is transferred to the medium containing N14 normal. Then after 20 minutes, they found out that it is a mixture of the heavy as well as the normal. So see here, after 20 minutes, the result was like this. Now it is in the mid. So this is a hybrid, or we can also call it as intermediate. So that this N15 gets incorporated into the N14. Hence we can call it as intermediate or a hybrid one. Okay. Next, after 40 minutes, they found out that the 50% of them were the normal one and another 50% was of hybrid. Okay. So when the samples were taken at a different intervals, the cells multiplied and the extracted DNA that remained as double helix, the 50% of them were the N15, N14 and another 50% were the N14. So this we can call it as the lighter one and this we can call it as the hybrid. So this shows that the DNA extracted from the culture after another generation, that is after 40 minutes, was composed of equal amount of this hybrid DNA as well as light DNA. So this shows the DNA replicates semi-conservatively. That means one strand is newly synthesized, whereas the another strand is the parental one. Next, let us learn about one more important topic, that is genetic code. Genetic code means it is a sequence of amino acids in a polypeptide chain and that is determined by the sequence of nucleotides or DNA. So whatever the sequence of nucleotides are present in the DNA, so it will be in the form of coded message by mRNA. So as a result of this coded message, the polypeptides will be synthesized. So this is known as genetic code. Features of genetic code. The first feature is the genetic code is universal. That means the genetic code is common and it is found in all living organisms. For example, UUU. So it is a sequence which codes for amino acid called phenylalanine. Okay, so this is known as codons. The 3 is known as codons. Okay, so this codon that codes for an amino acid called phenylalanine in all the organisms. Even in the bacteria, this UUU codes for phenylalanine. Even in the human beings, it codes for the same. Okay, next, the triplet codon. The genetic code is said to be the triplet. That means a codon is represented by 3 nucleotide sequence. As I told you, UUU, AUG. So these are 3 in number. So 3 nucleotide sequence are present. Hence it is known as triplet codons. And these are present on mRNA. Next, initiator codon. The process of translation is initiated by the initiator codon called AUG. So this is the first codon which is present. Okay, and the process of translation, that means the synthesis of proteins takes place with the help of an initiator codon called AUG, or it is also known as start codon. Okay, and this AUG codes for an amino acid called methionine. Next is terminator codon. So the process of translation should stop, right? So the translation is terminated by one more codon called terminator codon, and there are 3 here. The first one is UAA, that means awkward, then UAG amber, and UGA opal. So these are said to be the nonsense codons or stop codons or terminator codon. Next, it is commaless. That means the codons present in the mRNA strand are translated, or it is decoded continuously without any stop. Unless it reaches the terminator codon, there will be no stop. So hence it is said to be the commaless. Next character is non-overlapping. That means each 3 successive nucleotides present on a mRNA is a codon that codes for specific amino acids. Hence, the letter or nucleotide of one codon never shares with the another. See, if UUU is there, means it is for a phenylalanine only. This 3 nucleotides should code so that it will not share this U with another. For example, if AUG is present next to that AUG, if this U is present, then this AUG should code for the methionine, and this phenylalanine means that is UUU. It will not share GUU like this. Okay, so 3 nucleotides should code for a specific amino acid. Next is sensible. Sensible means a specific codon codes for a specific type of amino acid during protein synthesis. That means AUG for methionine only. Okay. Next, one more I'll tell you. UUA, that is for leucine. If UUU is there, sorry, UUA is there, that codes for one more amino acid called leucine only. It will not code for anything else. Similarly, UUU is there, means it is for phenylalanine only. Okay. Then, for example, histone, CAC, like this. So specific codons are there for a specific amino acid. Next, last but not the least is degeneracy or redundancy. See here, in a triplet codon system, there are 64 codons. Okay, and out of 64, 3 codons are said to be the nonsense or the terminator codon, right? That is UAA, UAG and UGA. and the remaining codon is 61. 61 codons are present now, and this 61 should be distributed between the 20 amino acids which are found in nature. Because of this, few amino acids are coded by more than 2 codons, and this property is known as degeneracy. For example, let me explain it. Okay, so histone. Okay, so I had already told you that histone means there are 2 amino acids. The first one is, sorry, there are 2 codons, C, A, U, and one more is there, C, A, and C. See, this CAU and CAC, these two codes for a amino acid called histone. Here, this shows that these two codons are distributed only for the histone. That means redundancy or degeneracy. Similarly, serine also I can give. Okay, AGU, AGC, like that. Okay, so if you just look at the chart of the genetic code, you will find out that these are nothing else but the distribution of the codons to the 20 different amino acids. Next, let us learn about the mutation and genetic code. The relationship between the DNA and genes are best understood by mutation. And there are two kinds of mutation, that is point mutation and frame shift mutation. In case of point mutation, it takes place due to the replacement of nitrogen base within a gene. I had already explained in the previous section that it affects the change in particular amino acids, that is sickle cell anemia. It is only because of the change in the amino acid in the 5th position, right? So here what happens? The mutation takes place at a single amino acid, that is said to be point, whereas the entire frame is deleted or inserted, means that is said to be the frame shift mutation. So here what happens? Due to the insertion or deletion of more than one nitrogen base, it may be inserted or it may be deleted to the frame. So this is known as frame shift mutation. Here what happens means the change of the whole sequence of the amino acid can be seen. Here there is just a single nucleotide, but here more than one nitrogen base. Example is thalassemia. Here for the point mutation it is sickle cell anemia.